If you haven't picked up any Prismatic Evolutions, Terrestrial Festival, whichever, way you're going, you won't have another chance. It's over for you. If there is no more stock left and there will never be a reprint, I want you to go back in bed, cover yourself with sheets, and just cry yourself to sleep. That's how bad it is. You will never have another chance of getting this. Obviously, that's sarcasm. I had to do it for a little dramatic effect. However, a lot of people are thinking that is the case. Before we get into the drama though, I would like to say that this video is sponsored by Card Prison, which is my company. So I'm sponsoring myself. The cool thing about sponsoring yourself is that it costs no money. Pretty neat, huh? Yesterday was the official launch of the Card Prison 2.0 binders. Oh, look at that. But I know what you're thinking. Oh, another binder company. I haven't heard this before. But what if I told you you're looking at two binders in one? This binder is the only one on the market that not only fits regular sleeve cards, but top-loaded ones as well. But wait, there's more. Not only does it have utility, it has class. Boasting a very luxurious and soft matty texture, you won't be able to stop touching this binder. Pause, I guess. Oh, also, did I mention that the whole zipper is frickin' metal? Oh yeah. If you want to get your very own Card Prison binder, make sure to go to cardprison.com. That is cardprison.com. Furthermore, for 10% off your whole entire order, wink, please use one of these coupon codes to support your very favorite Pokemon creator. Back to the drama. There is so much FOMO going in the Pokemon community right now, and it only seems to increase as time goes on. So if you guys are not really up to date with the news at all, the new kind of high-res photos of the Evolution cards were just revealed via PokeBeach, of course. And what I've seen is just a steady increase of just hype, FOMO, and demand. For example, there's been multiple stores that I had my eyes on for, Prismatic Evolution pre-orders. And I was lucky enough to be one of the very first people who actually got a couple ETBs. But regardless, it sold out in the matter of 2 minutes. This quite large store, which I'm not going to name, but it's quite large and they have a lot of allocation, it sold out in 2 minutes. And for example, Pokémon, he also sold out in like a few minutes as well. And he's quite a moderately sized store. We haven't seen this since possibly the 2021 boom. And the reason why it's even scarier, in my opinion, is that we haven't really had some sort of catalyst to start this so-called boom that we're in. We didn't have COVID. We didn't have stimulus checks that was sent by the government. We didn't have excessive time to spare. Right now, it almost feels more natural in a way that it kind of came out of nowhere, and we don't really have any particular way to point and say, hey, this is why it started. This is why it started. And it almost feels like natural hype and demand that didn't really start out of, nowhere, which is, I know it's kind of a bold thing to say. And when I mean like natural kind of demand, I'm not particularly talking about how FOMO and market manipulation is still affecting the Pokemon community. It obviously is. It's still a massive problem, and I'm still going to be one of the first people to say it is. However, what I'm talking about is other newer people come into the hobby, getting very interested in the Pokemon, whole brand, spending excessive amounts of dollars on these new Pokemon sets that are coming out. For example, Surging Sparks, people that are not even involved in Pokemon, people that are in the sports kind of side of things. They're coming in the Pokemon. Either that is because of money or actual kind of want to be in this community. It's up to the own person to decide. So I'm not going to point fingers and tell you, hey, just because you came into the Pokemon hobby very recently, you're just doing it because of, money, because of FOMO. I don't think all new people that are coming into the hobby are just doing it for money. I think there's a massive influx of genuine people who are getting interested in Pokemon, just want to crack open some packs, just want to have a good time. So I think it's foolish to say that everyone is just going into the Pokemon hobby right now just because of money. However, I will say that there is a large amount of people who are. Now, you could have your own opinion if that's negative or not, but one thing is for sure is that regardless of which reason new people are coming into the hobby, it is creating a massive amount of demand and price hikes that we're seeing right now. For example, again, Surging Sparks, it's going for $200 a box. We have never really seen this happen to a brand new Pokemon set that just came out. It just came out like 2 weeks ago. That's why, in my opinion, this whole thing is very, very scary because we had no catalyst to start this. I mean, I was talking with Pokey Brian in a live stream yesterday, and obviously we can point fingers like, oh, you know, Bitcoin is rising up. Oh, we have the elections that came up. That's why things are going up. And it's cool to point fingers to say like, oh, what started what? But in the end, we really don't have a reason. If you really want to go into it, why are all these other things going up? Well, why is Bitcoin suddenly going up? So it's always like a catch-22. Nobody freaking knows why this is happening, but it is happening. And there is a boom. And for people who actually don't believe it's in a boom, well, I hate to break it to you, man, but there most definitely is a boom. A sure example of that we're in a very high demand boom type of era is that scalpers are coming out of the closet. Pause. But now they are suddenly getting interested in Pokemon. I wonder why. Maybe it's because, you know, there's a large amount of money to be made right now. So, hey, I'm not going to point fingers. You know, scalpers, they could do whatever they want. I don't care. But it is affecting a lot of people. And I feel sorry for them. I really feel sorry. For example, my friend, you know, he couldn't go to Target because everything was wiped clean. He couldn't get the new Black Friday deal of, you know, Sword and Shield ETBs for $20 because all the scalpers, you know, literally came while Target was restocking, while the guy was stocking the shelves and just took it all. It's very unfortunate. And I'll be honest, I hate to see it happen. I really do, because a lot of people are getting affected by it. But needless to say, we are in a Pokemon boom, even if you like it or not. But anyway, forget about that. Let's go back to the Prismatic Evolution situation. The new high-resolution scans were released, and so many people are going crazy. For me, at least, all of them pretty much relatively what I thought from the low resolution scans. So my opinion hasn't really changed a lot, except the Sylveon. I think the Sylveon is kind of growing on me. I think it's definitely high up there right now. However, I just want to have a little chat with you, the person who is struggling with this massive amounts of FOMO. When I'm talking about FOMO, I don't like to group all FOMO as one. I think there's a couple variations of what FOMO actually is. I think there is mainly two versions. The first example of FOMO is somebody who obviously fears of missing out. That's the definition of FOMO. However, not only that, they are completely fine spending excessive amounts of funds to fill this fear up. They don't mind paying these scalper prices and completely obliterating their wallet. And before you know it, their bank account is red. So that is a very dangerous example of what FOMO can do. The second example of what FOMO is a person who still fears of, you know, missing out, which I feel like we all do. And if you don't feel it to some extent, I'll be honest, I think you're lying to yourself. But the difference between this FOMO is that these people do not want to spend these excessive amounts of dollars and are pretty calculative on how they spend their money to. It is completely fine to feel FOMO about something. You're not a less of a person. We are only human, but you also have to be kind of calculative about it. Don't pay these scalper prices. Don't pay these absurd price gouges. If you see a product for MSRP, I think it's only wise to, I'll buy a few boxes at MSRP. I think that's completely fine. But I also think you should be mindful of how much you're spending, obviously. FOMO isn't exactly a bad thing to feel. I think we all feel it at some point during our collecting journey. It's how you manage that feeling and what you do with that feeling. One side of people disregard how much they have, disregard how much the products are going for, and act on those impulses. And the second group of people is more calculative. They understand what they should and shouldn't buy, and they do not act on that impulse. I think those are two very different things. And I just want to kind of come out and say, it's like, again, it's all completely fine to feel FOMO sometimes. That's completely fine. But what matters is how you act on, you know, that feeling, what you do. I think that is the most important key to have. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you later, weebs. でもそんなんじゃダメもうそんなんじゃほら心は進化する